Welcome to our YouTube channel. PSLE Oral is around the corner. In fact, it is on this Thursday and Friday, which is on the 13th and 14th of August. Okay, so if you're watching this after your PSLE Oral or you are not PSLE yet, treat it as a revision for you or for preparation for your next year or the following year or any of your oral. It's the same tips. Okay, so how is the PSLE oral like? It is going to take up 15% of your PSLE grade or your child's PSLE grade. And before that, you actually have 5 minutes of preparation time. So during this time, what do you do? What should you do? Well, basically, my tip for you is to relax, and otherwise, how do you achieve a good PSLE oral grade for yourself? Okay. So first thing first, you need to understand what's the oral testing you of, or testing you about, testing you in. Reading aloud, 10 marks for that. And it is with good pronunciation. So pronunciation is a key thing. I'm going to teach you a few tips on how to make pronunciation good for yourself. Clear articulation, appropriate intonation, and in order to convey information, ideas, and feelings in a passage. Produce a well-paced, fluent reading of a passage. So pronunciation, fluency, 2 points, major points that I'm going to cover with you later on. And there is the stimulus-based conversation that is 20 marks. And in that section, you will be tested on how to express your personal opinions, ideas, and experiences clearly and conversing with the examiner, just like normal talking. Just relax and you'll be able to talk very, very well. Okay, all children are able to do that. It's just that they freeze sometimes. So speak fluently, grammatically correct answers. Okay, so full complete sentences are important. Right, let's cover on reading first. So how do you score points in reading? Firstly, you need to understand how to put stresses on different words. So I will cover some of the pronunciation for you, and then I will tell you where to find more practices on pronunciation and a rhythm of reading. So a lot of children tend to read like a robot because they thought that they need to be fluent, therefore they follow a certain beat, a certain rhythm in reading. Therefore, I always tell the kids, do not read with a rhythm. In fact, inconsistency is key. I will demonstrate to you later, and you will learn how to insert pauses at parts of sentences. So remember these 3 things: pronunciation based on stresses, inconsistent reading, and rhythm, and insert pauses, okay? So how do you understand, how do you do pronunciation by understanding stresses, okay? Firstly, for every single word, there are 1 syllabus, 2 syllabus, 3 syllabus, or 4 or more syllables as words. And how do you know how to pronounce them? There are some basic rules you will need to understand. For example, you stress the first syllable of 2-syllable words. For example, climate, knowledge. So you stress on the first syllable. So climate is 2 syllables, you stress on the first one. Knowledge is 2 syllables, you stress on the first one. These are examples of 2 syllables nouns. And then there are 2 syllables adjectives, for example, flippant, spacious. Okay, so these are the stress in front. You stress on the last syllable of most 2-syllable verbs. For example, require, decide, right? So nouns, you stress on the first. Adjectives, you stress on the first. For verbs, you stress on the last. You stress the second to last, which is second last syllables of words that end in ic, ic. For example, the second, there's 3 syllables in aesthetic, so aesthetic, correct? So you count from the back, the second one, which is st. So aesthetic, geographic, okay? Words ending in tion, S-I-O-N or T-I-O-N, examples, extension, retribution. Why bill? Because retribution has got 4 syllables. You stress on the second last, which is bill. Okay, so retribution, television. Fourthly, stress the third from last syllables of words that end in si, tai, fi, ji. For example, democracy. Okay, that's the third last syllabus, more, because democracy, so si, kr, and mo. So mo is the third last, right? From the back. uncertainty, geography, radiology, photography. Okay? There are many more rules that you can find on Google. If you were to type in English pronunciation by syllabus, you will find a few more rules over there. If you are in a rush, it's okay. We have only 2 days left for PSLE, so I don't want to stress you too much. If you can, go into Google, type in English pronunciation by syllabus. You can find there's many examples there. Look at some of the examples and practice them over these next few days, or before your oral, practice them. Or if you are not having PSLE oral, you have time to prepare, read some every day. Okay? And planning your pauses. How do you plan your pauses so that you will be able to read them well? So for example, I always tell children not to read with rhythm. That's what I said just now. Okay, so children tend to read like that. For example, bad example, okay? If you were to ask me what my favorite sport is, my answer would be swimming. I started learning how to swim when I was 5 years old, and I have been swimming ever since. This is very consistent, right? The beat is there and it's very flat, so you should not be reading like that. So I have children who are not able to intonate. Their pronunciation is never like a rhythm, a browser, answer. They're never able to do that because shy maybe. So, but when I teach them how to put the pauses in, their reading significantly improved. Let me give you an example. So how do you cut the sentences out? How do you know where to cut? In class, I will teach the children subject, verb, object. I teach them how to analyze their sentences using clauses, conjunctions, and adverbs and adverbial phrases, adjectival phrases. I teach them all this. But now, through YouTube, we don't really have much time for those. Maybe I will show you, I will record another video for that. But now you have only 2 days left for PSLE. What you need to know is you can cut sentences up by chunks. Okay, chunks that you think is comfortable, it makes sense. For example, if you were to ask me what? Okay, what my favorite sport is? My answer would be swimming. Does this chunking make sense to you? If you were to ask me something. What is that thing? What my favorite sport is? Okay, what is your favorite sport? My answer would be swimming. You see that is how you chunk into logical, sensible chunks for you to insert the pauses inside. Okay, and you continue. I started learning how to swim. That is one complete clause. When I was 5 years old. That is one complete clause. You notice that I put and alone. Why is that so? Because and is a conjunction. When you have conjunctions in the sentences, it is good to actually pause before and after, because that will make it sound like you are using a conjunction to connect ideas together. It is very easy for the reader to understand what you're trying to say. And the last part, I have been swimming. So if you put the whole thing together, it will sound like this. If you were to ask me what my favorite sport is, my answer would be swimming. I started learning how to swim when I was 5 years old, and I have been swimming ever since. Okay? Right. So even if children who doesn't intonate, they don't do very good pronunciation, they read it with a flat tone, these pauses will help them improve by at least 1 or 2 marks. Right. So let me try this in a flat tone for you. Okay. If you were to ask me what my favorite sport is, my answer would be swimming. I started to learn how to swim when I was 5 years old, and I have been swimming ever since. Sounds better than if you were to ask me what my favorite sport is. Okay, so I do have students who read without intonation. It's very hard for them to intonate, and I teach them these pauses and their reading instantly improved. It is not that hard. You just need practices. Okay, let's try another one. There are many reasons why I love swimming, but I'll just share a few with you, and maybe I can even encourage you to go for a swim. Okay, too fast, it can be quite difficult. Long sentences like that. How do you cut it up? Let's practice this. There are many reasons why. What? I love swimming. Okay, conjunction but before and after. Do a short pause. I'll just share a few with you. Okay, comma definitely pause, and conjunction pause. Maybe Okay, another thing that you can pause at, okay, maybe is also used as a conjunction sometimes. So I can even encourage you, that's a clause, to go for a swim. That's a clause. So how would it sound like? It would be like this. There are many reasons why I love swimming, but I'll just share a few with you. And maybe I can even encourage you to go for a swim. This is how you should be reading, right? So with correct pronunciation based on the syllabuses, okay, and planning your pauses in your reading, you will be able to improve your reading by at least 1 or 2 points upwards, okay? So this really makes a difference in whether you're an A star or an A or even a B or a C, okay? So these little marks are something that you can do within these 2 days. Prepare for your oral. Stimulus-based conversation is something that you need to do thereafter, okay? So some of the tips that you need to do is definitely eye contact, okay? After reading, you might be looking down and all that, but after reading, please look up at your teacher. Your teacher is going to ask you some questions. They're going to engage in a conversation with you. So eye contact, sit up straight, okay? These are all very, very important key that you need to take note of. And thereafter, what do? Your teacher will ask you a question, and you will firstly follow the Oreo, okay, format of answering questions. There's many different acronyms that the teacher might give you. Some of your teacher might call it trees. I have heard of my father had dengue, but when I asked my student what is my father had dengue, they said, I don't know. My teacher just asked me to remember my father had dengue. Oh my God. Okay. So children, please, if your teacher teach you an acronym for you to help you remember something, please remember what they are. Otherwise, they're useless. Okay. So my acronym that I use in my class will be opinion. Okay. O for opinion. When you are giving your opinion, form it in complete sentences starting with I. Okay. I feel, I think, I consider. You can also carry on after giving your opinion, give why you think that way, okay? So I think that way because. So reason, say because. After that, elaborate. What do you mean? Why do you think that way? So a lot of children tend to get stuck here. When I tell them to give experience, they don't know what experience to give. They don't know what examples to give. So I always tell them, so if you think that running beside a swimming pool is dangerous, give an example of why it is dangerous. So you can base on your own experience, whether it's real or not, it's really up to you. Some of my kids are asking me, can I lie? You can share an experience that you imagine from. You don't need to lie that it happened to you. You can say, for example, I would think that if a child is running beside a swimming pool, he might slip and fall into the water, and if the child doesn't know how to swim, that's going to get him into deep trouble. Am I lying? I'm not. I'm just saying an example, right? So lying or not is really up to you, but whatever it is, the teacher wants to know that you are able to engage in a proper conversation using grammatically correct sentences, okay? So if you want to impress on your examiner, your assessor, you can actually use big vocabs that you actually learn in your composition. But I was saying, do not try too hard. If you try too hard, the teacher will feel that, okay, you are definitely trying to put in some bombastic words. But if you use it wrongly, that's going to be minus marks instead of adding marks, correct? Okay, so just take it very naturally, relax yourself, don't take it too... Don't give yourself too much pressure. It's just a conversation. Be yourself. Why do I keep saying that? Because I have students who, they are always able to tell me stories about what happened to them, and when they're very natural, they can speak proper, complete sentences with me, sharing with me their stories. But the moment I ask them, look at the poster, what do you think? And they start to freeze, and they say, and they start doing that. So children, my advice for you is, be as natural as possible. Just speak your mind. It's okay, right? You have always been using English, and it is not something that you will struggle with in front of an examiner. All right? So be cool, relax. And lastly, repeat what you have mentioned in terms of your opinion. Okay, so what is your opinion? At the start, you said that, okay, children should not be running beside the pool. Okay, after you say your reason, your elaboration, after your example, you say, therefore, In a nutshell, in conclusion, or thus, children should not be running beside the pool. Always remember, address back to the question. Remember, put it at the back of your head what your teacher asked. Because a lot of times the students will forget what is the initial question and then they end off with, therefore, I really enjoy swimming. But that wasn't what I was asking. You see, therefore, the conclusion is very important. Remember what your teacher asked and reply exactly what they have asked. Do you think running beside the pool is dangerous? You say, therefore, it is dangerous, right? Answer your teacher just like any comprehension questions. And avoid, so yeah, that's it. And then you have this rolling eyes around, and do not do that. Don't say so yeah. And then I have a student whom I was practicing with. He keep doing this because I forgot what I want to say. Don't do all these little actions to show that you're not confident, you don't know what's going on, and these are not good conversation skills, you know. Okay, so all this will result in a degrading of your marks, so don't do that. And don't give more than 3 examples or 3 experiences and ramble on and on and on. Your teacher, the assessor, has many students to assess in 2 days, so please don't talk for too long. I know you have a lot of experiences and examples. Some children lack examples, some children lack experiences, some children can ramble on and on, okay? So please don't be the other end, don't be at the extreme ends, all right? Be balanced. And if you are very comfortable with oral, you can speak very well, your English is not bad, and you would like to know how to organize your ideas, you can organize it this way in terms of personal reasons and explanation, community reasons and explanation, and finally go to the national or global. So for example, if I talk about the swimming pool example, okay, so let's say swimming pool example. So this is the stimulus that you were shown. So the question is, do you think this poster is useful in reminding swimmers what to do at the swimming complex? So you will say, I think this poster is useful because of the 2 different colors. Those that is not allowed is in red, those that's allowed is in blue, and the illustrations are clear, and there were labels below each of the illustration. In fact, okay, so that's the personal reason. And you go on to explain from the community point of view. In fact, I think this kind of posters should be universal. It should be uniform across all swimming pools in the whole country or in the whole estate, so that no matter which pool that you go to, you will be able to be reminded of the same message, and all the rules should be the same regardless of race, language, religion, or country or nationality. Right? So you can organize your answers like that and address it from the micro point of view to the big point of view, the macro point of view. Okay? So other questions are there for you to practice. So you may pause the video here and think about all these questions. And I have a few more slides for you. You can pause the video at each one of them and practice the questions. Think about it, how you would like to organize your thoughts, okay? If you need to, you can actually slide back and then take a look. Oreo, how do you present your answers, okay? So this is the other tips. Before I show you the slides, I give you other tips first. For example, remember, greet your teacher, good morning, so-and-so. You don't know who they are. Say, good morning, ma'am, good morning, sir. Okay, if it's a male teacher, good morning, sir. If a female teacher, good morning, ma'am. There's no way you can call them Mrs. or Mr. Then you don't know them, right? Okay, greet them with a smile, sit up straight, and if you need to buy time because you're thinking of an answer, or you can clarify certain questions you don't understand, you can say, I'm sorry, can you repeat your question, please? Or you can say, do you mean how children should be behaving beside the swimming pool? You can clarify, no problem. Just don't keep asking and don't keep buying time, right? The teacher will be able to see that you are not sure of what you are, what your answers are, and that might lead to a downgrade of marks, okay? So don't do that too often, but you are okay to do that, right? Finally, like I keep saying, relax, okay? So this is another example that you can think of. You may pause the video here, okay? Look at the questions, practice. This is another one. These are the common topics that you can actually find used across the schools, actually. Okay, one more. Okay, I hope these are enough for you to tackle your PSLE oral. Good luck to all of you who are taking the PSLE soon, and those of you who are watching this in preparation for what's coming up, whether it's P4 oral, P5 oral, or whichever oral. Good luck to you. All the best. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.